In this topic, we learn about our atmosphere, the chemicals that it contains, the threats such as greenhouse gases and the impacts of climate change. Today, we will learn about our early atmosphere, billions of years ago, when the Earth was still young. About 4.6 billion years ago, a spinning cloud of blisteringly hot gases, rock and dust gradually built up into a large sphere which formed our home planet, Earth, along with our 7 planetary neighbours and the Sun. For at least a billion years after that, the Earth was a molten ball. Volcanic eruptions released gases from within this new planet. The lightest gases, like hydrogen and helium, floated out into space, but some heavier compounds were held close to the Earth's surface, forming our atmosphere. However, the atmosphere back then was almost certainly very different to the atmosphere that we have now. Of course, we don't know exactly what our atmosphere was like back then. There were no living things that we know of, so there's no direct evidence for us to use. But scientists have observed other planets and used evidence, such as bubbles of gas trapped in rocks of that age, to try and discover what our earliest atmosphere was like. And then they've tried to work out how it was changed. Samples of gases trapped in rocks suggest that the 3 main gases in our atmosphere back then were carbon dioxide, water vapour and nitrogen. There were also possibly trace gases of methane and ammonia. As the Earth's surface cooled, the water vapour that was in the atmosphere began to fall. It rained and rained and rained for millions of years. All the dips and troughs, the lowest parts of the crust, filled with water. The soluble compounds in the dust and rocks were dissolved, and our earliest oceans began to form. Scientists believe that it was here, deep beneath the surface of these ancient oceans, that the first single-celled living organisms evolved. They probably formed around areas of warm, chemical-rich water, like today's hydrothermal vents, and they used chemicals like sulfur as a source of energy, just like some living things do today. About 2.7 billion years ago, a new form of living organism evolved, which released a new form of gas, deadly to the other living things which surrounded them. The new organisms were called cyanobacteria and algae. The new gas was oxygen. Oxygen is formed by a process known as photosynthesis. This chemical reaction uses energy from the sun to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars, such as glucose. A waste product, the plant poo if you like, is oxygen gas. Since that time, millions of other living organisms, such as fungi and animals, have evolved, which rely on the plants as the basis of their food webs, and which need this oxygen gas in order to respire. There are still types of organisms today which can't live in an oxygen-rich environment, but the evolution of plants caused a huge change to our atmosphere. What happened and how that affected the other gases in the atmosphere is the subject of another video.